Hey, welcome back to Red Games. For the last 5 years I've been making small video game projects and also releasing some of the small indie games. However, I haven't made something that I really want others to play before. Most of the time I'm just experimenting with ideas. Like last month I created a third-person zombie shooter, or when I made a sword combat system. They're cool projects, but they're not my dream game, so I came to the decision that I want to make my dream game. Starting today, I'm going to spend most of my time working on this one game. You might be wondering, what type of game is it? Well, I've always liked medieval type games since I was a kid. Sword combat has always seemed cool to me, though I know I cannot be ambitious with my ideas, so I'm not making an open world game or a tactical game where you have to move troops around. But I want to merge one of my favourite type of genres, roguelikes or soul-like. I want to make a game where people want to play. I know that I can come through this game if I put all the work into it. I know that I'm a very young games developer, only at the age of 16. I know that many people my age wanting to become in this business don't even know how to program. However, I believe in my 6 or 7 years of programming knowledge in different languages, and with my determination, I believe I can do this game. I know in the last video I said I would talk about the zombie shooter, but if you want to hear more about it, stick around because I want to go over how I remade the sword combat system to feel more like Dark Souls. When I started this project, I spent the first day remaking my old sword combat system, which I created for Polyworld. Though Polyworld was a cool fun game idea, looking back now I realised that I was wanting to do so much as a solo developer. I cannot do all what I wanted to do without spending weeks trying to build all the systems. And also, Polyworld isn't what I want to play. Though when I was making it, I had very heavily taken ideas from Zelda Breath of the Wild, with their stylistic graphics. I wouldn't want that in my game, which I am making. I like to push myself, and I want to make my game look and feel like a AAA games company made my game. So remaking the sword combat system in what I did. When playing with the old sword combat system, it didn't feel like the character was moving like a AAA game feels like. And the reason why was because the animation didn't affect how the player would move/turn around like most modern video games do nowadays. So switching from Unity's built-in character controller component to move over to using root motion, and root motion is basically the animation moves the player around. The reason why using root motion animations was such a big deal to make my sword combat system feel much better was because it allowed the player to roll and have moving attack animations and not be stuck in one spot. The next thing to do was remake how the player does damage to enemies. Before, the player would spawn a UV spear and it would tell you what it just had hit. However, to make my game more realistic, the clarity is now on the sword itself. This allows for the sword to hit enemies more realistically. Once that was complete and over 140 lines of code later, I had a fully working Dark Souls-like third-person sword combat system with character control on. So now what did I do with the enemies? For the enemies, I could reuse my old enemy AI script, which was fully capable for waypoints, patrolling, chasing and attacking. There was a few bugs which I quickly fixed, and I had my enemies working in a few minutes. Though I'm definitely gonna remake this AI as it has I want to make more advanced and updated sword combat system to use the new one since it's still using the old combat system. This AI script originally came from Polyworld, however, it's since been used in the zombie game and was updated there and was modified for this project as well. Lastly, before I go talking about the zombie game, there's a few things which I'll be doing next with this game. The first thing is to get all the enemies working with the AI script and have no issues. And the second thing is to get randomly generating dungeons working. Once that is done, I can start level designing, which will make the game feel alive. Now the zombie game. This project has now turned into the game which I'm handing in for my games assignment. The game has an open world city where the player can explore and zombies can hear gunshots and react to the player. The zombies in the game took me a week to get done, fixing the zombie bugs and getting the headshots working. The game isn't really anything special. It looks like a AAA game, as I was trying to go as realistic as I can, and I think I came through with making it look lifelike. but the programming isn't really anything crazy and most people could remake this game. I ended up adding a kill all game mode where the player can kill the zombies to win the game, as the game doesn't have an end goal and I needed one for the assignment, so yeah, I just added that quickly. So if you came from the last video where I showed off the game, I used the game more as a learning project than I wanted to remake a zombie game and make it a full release. I will link the last video in the description if you want to go and see that, but I don't think I'll be working on this anymore unless I want to experiment more on it. Anyways, thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.